All right, folks, we got big news here. MMAT CEO George Palikaris has just won a court order. They have just won a court order. This is big news here. I need a minute, honey, okay? And I need to share it with you guys because it is really important. Taking a look at this, he just posted about 2 hours ago that 9 different funds, including Anson funds, have to appear due to a court order granting ex parte motion for order requiring custodian of records for Anson Funds USA to appear for examination pursuant to this case. It is hereby ordered that the motion is granted for Anson Funds as well as 9 firms to appear in court to produce documents related to MMAT, Meta, MMTLP, and other QSIPs or legend identifiers pertaining to Meta or MMTLP. Now, this is huge news for the company, for George Palikaris, for the CEO, for all employees, and all shareholders, because this right here is saying that in relation to metamaterials, that Anson Funds has to produce all the documentation in relation to anything that was received by a broker from a customer related to the relevant securities, quantities, or prices. So I think this is extremely bullish and great news for the stock market in general, particularly for shareholders and those that are still invested and have been holding MMAT and MMTLP since MMTLP was delisted early by FINRA. It was an astronomically ridiculous thing that FINRA did. We did know it was coming, and it was extremely dangerous. So some people probably shouldn't have been holding the stock anymore. But the fact is that what happened was, in my opinion, borderline illegal. Borderline collusion going on there, allegedly. And the reality of the fact is that they ended it the day before, technically the weekend before, but the weekend's not a trading day. So instead of trading for MMTLP and the stock being delisted on a Monday, it occurred on a Friday. Meanwhile, retail investors were still holding their shares, were still holding their options and their positions. And, then MMAT as well was heavily naked shorted and heavily shorted. And thankfully now, George Palikaris here has been coming out with some absolute fire posts on Twitter and X, if you will, in regards to these two the company and the spinoff, NBH, MMTLP, MMAT, etc., and posting a lot of excellent information about the DTCC, the OTC markets, and the Securities Exchange Commission and FINRA, and a lot of what you can see here that I have shared personally. So I'm very, very happy to see this. This is absolutely huge. Congratulations to George Palikaris, to MMAT, MMTLP, and all shareholders of both companies, and NextBridge Hydrocarbons, NBH. So what you're seeing here, George says, milestone day, more to come. Enjoy this moment. Thank you, MMAT and MMTLP family, for your patience and unwavering support through this journey. Special thanks to our diligent trustee, Ms. Lovato, and hardworking legal teams. It takes a village. It's hunting season. And that is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and repost that now. But as you can see here, who will settle first? First to settle gets the cheaper deal. My money is on TradeStation. You? And in case you guys didn't know, we broke it here on this channel as well, that TradeStation basically came out and admitted that they didn't have the shares that they should have because they were lending them out. Big problem. As you can see here, Happy and Positive Zero posted the Rogues Gallery here is Anson Funds, Citadel, Schwab, NASDAQ, FINRA, DTCC, TD Ameritrade, TradeStation, and Virtue. And what we're seeing here is the CEO of Quantum Biopharmaceuticals, QNTM stock ticker, giving a big congratulations to George Palikaris, saying QNTM is with you, and we'll be bringing these people to justice as well through the courts. In our case, the banks have filed a motion to dismiss, which we are preparing a reply to. In case you guys are wondering, we will be having Mr. Zishan Saeed here on this channel next week. So I will be airing that video next week with the CEO and CFO of Quantum Biopharma, stock ticker QNTM on the NASDAQ. And we will be hearing his story. We want to hear everything that's going on with QNTM in relation to the company, what it is they do in biopharmaceuticals, how they're helping people, and how their company went from being worth over $1 billion billion to just a few million, unfortunately, due to some alleged naked shorting. And as you guys know, on this channel, we cover financial institutions and financial markets very heavily, especially when there are things that have occurred that should not have occurred to begin with. So huge shout out to George Palikares, to Zishan Saeed, and everybody else at MMAT, MMTLP, and QNTM. Cheers, my friends. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to keep this one a short one. My apologies for my absence from YouTube and X the last week. I've been having some issues, but thankfully I've got it pretty much all worked out now, thanks to some great doctors and my family. So I will be discussing with them tomorrow, with Mr. Zishan Saeed, and we'll have the QNTM story and all the information in relation to the billion-dollar company that was naked shorted so heavily that it is now worth only a few millions. And that's a recurring story on financial markets, unfortunately, because there is way too much market manipulation being allowed right now. So, ladies and gentlemen,